At the edge of Kruger National Park in South Africa, an old lion walks alone across sun-baked grass that crackles under his heavy paws. Once, he was the proud king of a vast pride, leading fierce hunts and roaring his rule across the savannah. Now, his golden mane is nothing more than sparse, tangled threads of faded brown, and deep shadows cradle his hollow eye sockets. The heat presses down on his gaunt frame, where protruding ribs peek through rough, ulcerating skin. His teeth have mostly fallen away, leaving jagged stumps that make every attempt at a bite a painful gamble. With each staggering step, the lion leans into the wind, as though looking for strength that no longer lives in his bones. Can the once mighty ruler find a flicker of hope before his journey ends? Banished by younger, stronger rivals who claimed the pride for themselves, this aging lion has known nothing but isolation for days on end. In his struggle to survive, he searches for shallow pools, brink of dry holes, where moisture might still linger. He stalks distant antelopes, only to falter when his brittle teeth fail him. Across his scarred flanks, every groove tells a tale of battles fought and won long ago, now twisted into bitter reminders of nature's unforgiving game. When he roars, his sound is thin and pained, echoing through empty grasslands that offer no reply. Tourists spot his gaunt figure in the gloom of dawn and capture photos that eventually make their way to the park's rangers. Will anyone dare to answer his silent plea? When the images reach South African staff members, Themba and Sipho, they share a look of resolve. They packed a kit filled with medical supplies, a tranquilizer gun, and fresh cuts of meat. Symbols of hope and danger. Under the relentless sun, they drive deep into the park. Sipho studies the prints. Left in powdery sand, toe pads spread wide, nails exposed. A desperate trudging of a king long dethroned. Meanwhile, Themba sweeps his gaze across the sparse trees, searching for that familiar silhouette. After hours of pursuit, they stop only 30 meters from their target. The lion sits with his head bowed, each breath a labor, each movement a tremor. A hush falls as they weigh the risk, man and beast locked in a quiet standoff. What will break the silence? Themba should raise his tranquilizer, but the lion is too exhausted even to stand. Hesitation blooms in Themba's chest, and Sipho places a steady hand on his friend's shoulder. "Let's try a different way," he whispers. Together, they advance on cautious feet, voices soft and low. When the lion finally lifts its head, it blinks through heavy lids, confusion mingling with hunger. Themba holds out a piece of bright red meat. The lion sniffs, then snaps its neck forward, muscles straining for the simple act of eating. As it chews, Themba jabs a small syringe of health-supporting medicine into its shoulder. The drug seems to offer a spark of strength as the hunger in the animal flares, and it gulps down the meat as if starved for a lifetime. Why has nature allowed this desperate king to linger so close to collapse? With a lion engaged in its meal, Sipho balls his fist against his heart to still its racing. Themba steps back and readies a carefully placed iron cage mere meters away. Normally, they rely on darts and slumber. Today, they wager on the lion's own will to survive. Inch by inch, Themba coaxes it toward the cage with fresh meat, strokes its fettered mane in soft reassurance, and watches as the old lion rises with a groan. Each step is agony, but life's final ember shines in those weary eyes. When the lion crawls inside, Sipho's breath catches. He slams the door shut and checks the latch twice. Relief washes over them both. This fragile king has chosen rescue over ruin. What new chapter awaits him now? They lift the cage onto the back of a truck and begin the slow journey to the park's emergency care unit. The road curves and dips, but they drive gently, fearful of jolting the frail creature. A net whispers across the cage's bars, shielding the lion from the blazing midday sun. Along the route, curious travellers lean out of windows, murmuring in wonder at this unusual convoy. Sipho offers quiet words. We're saving him from a lonely end. The crowd falls silent, as if in respect. What will the vets discover behind those sunken eyes? At the care facility, the lion is eased into a new, straw-lined pen, draped with cloth for shade. Veterinarians swarm to examine him. Gaunt ribs demand attention. Festering wounds cry out for dressing. And broken teeth speak of years of hardship. They inject antibiotics, mop away pus, and wrap bandages over sensitive sores. Painkillers still the tremors that run through his weakened frame. Themba and Sippo watch with heavy hearts, their compassion warring with sorrow. Yet beneath every bandage lies a promise. He'll see another dawn. How will this gentle giant respond to human kindness? Morning routines at the centre hum with quiet purpose. Each sunrise brings fresh checks of bandages and new doses of medicine. At midday, the lion's meal is not raw prey, but soft, minced meat, easy on his weakened jaw. No more silent hunts or desperate water searches. For the first time in months, he tastes safety. Day by day, his body inches toward recovery. Fat returns to hollow flanks, and his coarse fur regains a faint sheen. Though his mane will never again flow like a sunlit waterfall, it begins to fill in. What memories stir behind those amber eyes when he hears the soft footsteps of his caretakers? Sometimes, Themba sits by the pen, speaking quietly as he did on that first day. Sipho measures supplements, whispering encouragement. Gradually, the lion's distrust ebbs, replaced by fragile trust. He leans into gentle strokes, offering his head for scratches. Simple gestures no longer tainted by the roar of a wild pride. Occasionally, he lifts his gaze toward the distant horizon, perhaps recalling battles fought long ago, perhaps wondering if he will ever feel the pulse of the grass underfoot again. But the thought dissolves in the warmth of human care. Could compassion be stronger than pride? In this final chapter of his long journey, the old lion lives not as a conqueror, but as a survivor embraced by kindness. No longer must he face the hunger that once squeezed his ribs or the sun that cracked his skin. Instead, he spends his days in peaceful reprieve, where every meal is enough and every human hand offers gentle reassurance. His story stands as a quiet testament to the power of empathy in a world that often exalts only the strongest. In his last days, he reigns not over territory, but over hearts, moved by his survival. What legacy does kindness leave in a land ruled by nature's laws? Dear friend, thank you for following this journey, from the wild grasslands of Kruger, the quiet safety of the care centre. Remember, even in the harshest places, a single act of compassion can spark a miracle. If this story touched you, please like and subscribe to support more tales of hope and rescue, because every creature deserves its final chapter written in kindness. Since then, the lion has settled into a gentle routine of morning light and soft straw beneath his paws. His breaths grow steadier, and even his once drooping tail begins to flick with quiet curiosity. In the cool hush of dusk, he lifts his head toward the pink horizon, as if greeting an old friend, then lowers it contentedly to rest. Themba and Sipho often find him watching them, amber eyes reflecting gratitude rather than fear. Though he will never roam as he once did, he has discovered a new kind of freedom. The freedom to heal, to trust, and to simply be. What small miracle will compassion inspire next?